Nighty-night.
Good night.
Today's video sponsor is GPUS, where using my SKG discount code leads to a 25% off across several products, making a Windows 10 serial key only $16. After the payment, you'll receive the key in your account and all you need to do is to introduce it in your Windows settings and bam! You have an activated system. Hello guys, this is Gameplays, I'm Fabio Pisco and welcome to my channel. As for today's video, we have the review of the new Adrenalin drivers, the 23.2.1, and as I say in all my videos, 23 is the year 2023, 2 is the month February, and 1 is the revision in that same month, so the first revision of February. Now before starting the video on the release notes, I just have to tell you one thing. AMD definitely took their time to release drivers for the previous generations like the 6000, 5000, Vega and 500 and 400. They did take their time. We're talking about months. But at least they actually brought something good. And so these drivers were released yesterday and they are already WHQL signed, meaning that Microsoft kind of approves these drivers, let's call them that. So they are already recommended instead of being just optional like AMD did in the past few months, or at least in the past year. So okay, we have an already WHQL signed driver. And well, let's start with the release notes. As for the highlights, we have support for Forspoken with up to 7% increase in performance for Forspoken 4K using AMD Software Adrenalin Edition 23.2.1 on the Radeon RX 6950 XT GPU versus the previous software driver version 22.11.2. Okay, this is with a 6950 XT, but I can tell you already that it is not only for the 6950 XT, okay? Lower end cards and some other cards actually get the same performance boost, or in some scenarios even higher, so that's a big thing. We also have support for Dead Space. We also have support for the IREE compiler using MLIR interface on Vulkan and additional Vulkan extensions. Click here for more information. Radeon RX 6000 series GPUs now have support for the newly introduced streaming capabilities, including the pre-filter toggle, pre-analysis feature and CAM-L technology. This is a very good thing. The Radeon RX 7000 series already have hardware AV1 decoding and encoding for both recording and streaming. What happens is that the RX 6000 series do not have this hardware AV1 encoding and decoding feature, and they can only stream using the AVC, which is the H.264 encoder, which is kind of worse than the H.265 encoder, which is the AGVC, that can be used by these cards, the RX 6000 series and below, when recording, but can't be used when streaming, meaning that the overall quality when recording will be way higher than the quality when streaming. But as I am saying here, but with the pre-filter toggle, pre-analysis feature and CAM-L technology, the streaming quality will be much improved on the older generation cards like the 5000 series and the 6000 series and even the older ones. So it is there, the toggle is there, you can just select it. You will most likely lose some FPS, but at the same time your streaming quality will be much better. Great job AMD, people were asking for this and you actually delivered. After some months, but you did. A new version of AMD Link improves overall connectivity across all supported Radeon products, RX 400 series and newer, so you can game from anywhere on virtually any device. Boost your performance with AMD software, read the latest blog here and learn how this newly unified driver delivers performance gains since Windows 11 first launched. With game optimizations with up to 4% increase in Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered, so kind of a CPU dependent title, but we have up to 4% increase, up to 3% increase in performance on Sniper Elite 5, up to 6% performance increase in Shadow of the Tomb Raider, once again very nice, it's an old game, but we're still getting performance increases, up to 7% increase in Quake 2 RTX, up to 4% increase in performance for Hitman 3, up to 6% performance increase for Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, up to 19% increase in performance in F1 2022, up to 9% increase in performance in Doom Eternal as well, so an older game still receiving performance increases, up to 4% increase in Borderlands 3, the same, and up to 4% increase in Hogwarts Legacy, so very nice. Many performance increases actually that you can access by going to the blog here, and you have actually some charts showing the first drivers, the first ones on the 6000 series for Windows 11, which were the 21.10.1. Then you have another bar, another kind of darker red bar with the 22.11.2, and then the brighter red bar with the Adrenalin 23.2.1. And as you can see, in some games the performance increased a lot, even from the 22.11.2, like F1 2022. God of War also increased a bit. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy actually increased more than God of War. And I kind of think that there are more games that also have performance increases. So once again, leave in the comment section if you actually have performance increases in the games that you're playing. Leave in the comment section for us to know as a community which games actually got an improvement and in which cards, okay? That's one of the points of these videos. As for the fixed issues, we also have lots of fixed issues once again. Finally, for both the RX 6000 series and below and the RX 7000 series, okay? The first fixed issue is AMD Software Adrenalin Edition may fail to launch with the error message delayed write failed on Microsoft Windows 11 version 22.2.2. So on the newer Windows 11 version, we have a fixed issue of the AMD Adrenalin not launching, okay? Poor performance and load times may be observed while playing Space Engine once again. Thank God. Corruption may be observed while scrolling the points shop in Steam on RX 6000 series GPUs. Performance drop may be observed during Fortnite and YouTube playback with enhanced sync enabled on some AMD graphics products such as the AMD Radeon RX 5700 XT. This is an issue actually occurring in other cards that are not the 5700 XT. Basically, when playing games and actually running a video playback in the background or in another monitor, some stuttering and performance decreases actually occur in some driver versions and in some configurations. Not in all configurations, in a small portion of configurations it actually happens, but it seems that AMD actually is looking into fixing it, and at least for the 5700 XT, when using video playback and Fortnite, it seems to be fixed. Corruption or game crash may be observed while playing Door Kickers 2. Missing or flickering textures may be observed while playing Emergency 4, also a bug that was reported and is now fixed, great. Application crash may be observed when launching Baldur's Gate 3 using Vulkan API on Radeon RX 7000 series GPUs. Once again, like I told you, the 7000 series GPUs also got some fixed issues. Stuttering may be observed while playing Sea of Thieves on Radeon RX 6000 series and above series GPUs. Also a bug that many Sea of Thieves players were actually complaining about because of the stuttering in the current drivers, so it seems to be fixed. Leave your comment in the comment section if you are playing Sea of Thieves and you have an RX 6000 series or 7000 series. Leave a comment in the comment section telling me and us if the stutters were actually fixed or not. Corruption may be observed while playing Battlefield 4 with post-process quality settings set to high or ultra on Radeon RX 6000 series and above series GPUs. Okay, once again, another bug for Battlefield 4 that was fixed. White foliage may be observed while playing Hogwarts Legacy on Radeon RX 7000 series. So if you're playing Hogwarts Legacy, like most of people do, well, and if you have an RX 7000 series, the foliage problem seems to be fixed. And the last fixed issue is intermittent system stuttering or UI flickering may occur when two videos are simultaneously playing using Chromium-based browsers on some multi-display configurations, and this is a very important thing that was fixed. So stuttering when actually doing several video playbacks and so on, it seems to be fixed, which is great. And as you saw, we have a lot of performance increases for both the 6000 series and the 7000 series, and we have lots and lots of fixed issues, so that's a very nice thing. AMD definitely took their time, once again, months, but they actually brought something really good, which is something that I approve. But since not everything is kind of cotton candy and unicorns, we also have the known issues, with the first one being high idle power has situationally been observed when using select high resolution and high refresh rate displays on Radeon RX 7000 series GPUs. So this is something that happens. By the way, if you're having this high idle power situation on the RX 7900 series, so the 7900 XT or 7900 XTX, I advise you to do a clean Windows installation. And I'm telling you this because some users that I saw in the comment section actually told me that the high idle power situation has actually got fixed for them once they did a clean Windows installation. So the drivers and the Windows might be actually conflicting, causing the high idle power. Okay, that may be a thing. One of the users actually had a 120 Hz OLED television that was actually having this problem, and after the Windows reinstallation, so the clean Windows installation, the problem was fixed and the power draw got reduced from 110 to like 40 watts in idle. So that's a massive decrease in power usage. Yeah. Video stuttering or performance drop may be observed during gameplay plus video playback with some extended display configurations on the RX 7000 series GPU, so something that has been happening with the 6000 series. It seems to be fixed on the 6000 series but still happening in the 7000 series. Application crash may be observed while opening premium gold packs in EA Sports FIFA 23, so that's the thing as well. Some virtual reality games or apps may experience lower than expected performance on Radeon RX 7000 series GPUs. Once again, if you are going for VR, not all games will have poor performance on the RX 7000 series, but it seems that at least some games still have poor performance on the RX 7000 series, some VR games, so virtual reality games. Not all, but some do, so take that in consideration when getting one of these cards for VR. AMD bug report tool pop-up or system hang may be observed after driver update on some hybrid graphics notebooks. Users are recommended to use the factory reset install option as a workaround, okay? Corruption may be briefly observed when moving Netflix video between displays or minimized to full screen on some AMD products such as the Ryzen 7 6800U, so basically an APU or a laptop processor, yeah. Certain videos played with movies and TV may briefly show corruption when moving the window between displays on some AMD graphics products such as the AMD Radeon RX 6700 XT, once again something that has to do with some applications and some corruptions. Brief display corruption, once again, may occur when switching between video and game windows on some AMD graphics products, such as the Radeon RX 6700 XT. Once again, this is something that has been happening for quite some time, months actually, and it is still here. Not for many users actually, for just a few percentage of them, but it is happening, which is quite sad. And the last one is maximum encode bitrate is limited to 100 Mbps for certain applications, and this is mostly for the 7000 series GPUs, I believe. But as always, correct me if I'm wrong. We also have some important notes as well, being the first one, AMD Link users running Radeon RX 7000 series GPUs will need to update to a newer version of AMD Link now available on various platforms. And the second one is most likely the most important one for you all, which is AMD is working with the game developers of Hogwarts Legacy to resolve performance issues when enabling ray tracing. That's a plus. And that's very, very welcome. Very welcome. Now, as for the performance increases, AMD usually states the 6950 XT and the newer 7000 series cards. But what about the other 6000 series cards, like for example the 6650 XT? Let's watch 3 games with a 22.11.2 versus a 23.2.1. And well, as you saw, the performance increases were not only for the 6950 XT cards, they were also for the other 6000 series cards. We tested Modern Warfare 2, where the performance was more or less the same, virtually the same, but we did have a performance increase on F1 2022, and we did have a performance increase in Forspoken, and I do believe that there are more games where we do have performance increases, but since we saw the 6000 series tested with the 6650 XT, what about the 7900 XTX, for example? Did it have a performance increase, performance decrease, or what? Let's watch it as well. And well, as you saw with the 7900 XTX, well, we did have a performance increase in some games like Forspoken, where we have around 5 to 6% increase. In Formula 1 2022, using 1440p resolution and ray tracing to the maximum, so basically all settings to the maximum, the performance was more or less the same, with a bit higher 1% lows but a bit lower averages, so more or less the same. And in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 we actually have slightly lower performance, but not really something that you can feel in real gameplay, so the results are virtually the same and within the margin of error, apart from Forspoken, where the performance increase is there and is real. Yeah. But don't worry, because according to my experience we have lots of good things and lots of bad things, so let me just grab my notebook, my A4 notebook. Let me grab it and let me tell you what I found about good things and bad things on the 23.2.1 drivers. Now, for the good things, we have the software feeling actually more responsive. Okay, this might be placebo effect, but I did feel like the software was more responsive, at least on the Windows 11 22.2. Now, custom resolution utility also works for the older cards, okay, so it does work with the newer drivers for the older cards, 6000 series, 5000, Vega, 500 and 400, it just works. Now, when you are actually loading the profiles to your overclocks or undervolts on the older generation cards like the 6000 series, it also shows you the same way that it shows for the 7000 series. Basically, it asks you if you want to load the profile for the CPU, for the GPU, or both, which is a really good thing, because on previous versions, you would actually load the GPU profile alongside the CPU profile. So if you save the GPU profile alongside the CPU profile that you had before, if you actually changed the settings on BIOS and you went and loaded that profile on the Radeon settings, it would load not only the GPU profile but also the CPU profile, and it would restart your computer and use a random CPU profile or the CPU profile that you had before. Now you have the option to select just the GPU profile, just the CPU profile, or both. Thank you! And as seen in the release notes, we also have now the streaming with enhanced filtering, meaning that the quality, the overall streaming quality will be much better even in the older generation cards, okay? It is much better due to the enhanced filtering. You may actually lose some performance, but I do believe that it won't be that much performance lost, maybe 5% at most. And the quality will be much better. So for streaming, for people that are actually streaming, the enhanced filtering option is a must. Great. And with the RX 7900 XTX, we actually have another very good thing, which is a power draw reduction when doing video playback. In the previous drivers with a 23.1.1 and 23.1.2, when running at least my card on my monitor, okay, this is my case scenario, but I believe that it will apply for more people. When I was doing video playback, I would have around 45-55 watts of power draw, and now I'm constantly running at 39 watts of power draw. So the power draw decrease when doing video playback is real, and thank God it is, because I mean, it can get even better, but at least it got a very nice decrease. So they are improving on that department, and that's a big plus in my book. But since we have good things, we'll also have the bad ones. And let's start with one of the bad ones, being that custom resolution utility still does not work for the RX 7000 series. It works with the new drivers for the 6000 series and below, but it does not work with the 7000 series. And as according to ToastTX, which is the developer of the custom resolution utility, drivers do not have the EDID overrides, okay? So this is not presented in the drivers, at least for the newer generation cards, and that's why custom resolution utility cannot override those options. So AMD, please bring these overrides for the new drivers so I can actually use custom resolution utility alongside with the drivers instead of having to create custom resolutions on the AMD software, which makes no sense. Anyway, I also noticed that on my RX 7900 XTX, the 0 RPM fan feature actually takes a long time to kick in, so it takes a longer time to actually activate the 0 RPM when you kind of close a game and you go to the desktop. It takes more time to kick in than with the previous drivers. The previous drivers would take like 10 seconds at most, while with the newer drivers it can take up to, let's say, 30-40 seconds. So it takes more time to kick in. That's just something that I noticed. The good things kind of overtake and are more than the bad things, which is very, very good. Just very, very good, AMD. You took your time, but you delivered. Nice. And well guys, with all said and done, thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share this video. Leave a comment in the comment section and let me know actually which card do you have, if you got a performance boost or not, in which games, if the power draw, if the video playback power draw actually was better for you or is better for you now, if the idle power draw problems got fixed with these drivers, if actually clean installing the Windows fixed your idle power draw issues. Just let me know everything in the comment section for us as a community to evolve and to actually fix the issues, okay? So no fanboying, just guys that love... why am I doing this? Just guys that love technology actually trying to help each other and trying to make things better. That's my mindset. Thanks a lot for watching and see you in the next video.